Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday. It's time for another video. Today I'm doing another Performer Spotlight 5x5 special. Now, what is the Performer Spotlight 5x5 special? The idea is very simple. I take a performer that I respect, that I think we can learn from, and I talk about I show 5 performance clips, and then I talk about them and try to show how using those clips, this performer is absolutely amazing. Now, my goal here is a couple of, when I do these, I have a couple of goals, but my main goal is to highlight performances or perhaps even performers that you've never seen before. And I think that's really important because, as I've said before, there are some amazing magicians out there, and new people that are coming into magic probably aren't aware of all of these fantastic magicians that are out there. And the person that I'm talking about today is a perfect example. I was at a magic conference a little bit recently, and magic convention. Not a single person had heard of this. Now I was speaking to a lot of younger magicians and a lot of people that were new into magic, but still not a single person had heard of this person, and it's such a shame. So because when I got into magic, it was watching the person I'm going to be speaking about today that really kind of showcased to me what comedy and magic is. And I've never been more fooled in my life than watching this man. I am, of course, talking about Tom Mullica. If you haven't read his books, if you haven't seen his performances, Tom Mullica is, for my money, one of the funniest magicians that has ever walked the earth. And he's a huge loss to the community when he passed away. But his legacy absolutely lives on. And I hope to add to that today by talking about a few different routines that he has performed over the course of his career. And when you're talking about Tom Mullica, there's only one routine really that you can start with, and that is Nicotine Nincompoop. Now, Nicotine Nincompoop is his cigarette eating act that literally took him around the world and back again. If you haven't seen this, this is just mind-blowing. I remember the first time I saw this, and I saw this guy just sitting there eating cigarette after cigarette after cigarette, stuffing handkerchiefs in his mouth and just having everything, just eating everything. And I'm like, this just isn't right. I figured the only method would be he's actually eating this stuff. Like, what else could he be doing? If you haven't seen Nicotine Nincompoop, you're in for a treat. Let's have a look at that one first.
Did you like the Elena Bobbitt thing?
Yeah, I like that.
Do you have any jokes? Do you tell jokes? No. You should have jokes. You have a hell of a sense of humor. You're very strange. I can't use my lighter because it got dropped in the water and it's all wet. So I have to light these with a match.
Chain smoker, huh?
Yeah. Oh, is that got like a big flame on it, or do I have to suck a lot? Last time I did this for Deke, he said, "There's one that ain't lit, there's one that ain't lit, there's one that ain't lit." Leave it to kids. Doing a kid show is like walking through Lion Country Safari with a hamburger suit on. Wait, that baby right there is real small. Is it getting hotter in here to you, Lee? I'm doing the smoke trick, and he's over there going. What does your son do for a living, Mrs. Mullica? He's a geek. Have you ever been this close to an idiot? I know you have. I was wondering about doing this trick today, but what the hell? Don't they look real? Yeah. See? Dan's coughing, John's coughing, everyone's coughing except me.
No way.
This is why I want to get into pool. Do you mind if I smoke? Oh, man. You people have been dynamite. How long have we been here? Let's see, since about 11, 12, 1. Has it been 8? See, that destroys the magic of television. The people viewing this tape think that we were just sitting here for an hour and having fun. Are you kidding me? How many times did you go to the bathroom yourself?
8.
You know, the funniest thing I ever saw in a bathroom was I was traveling with John and Pam Thompson one time. We went to a trip, and Pam was in one bathroom, and I was, well, that's obvious. Remember we heard the blow dryer going, and we just pictured her in there like this? No. And she's gonna kill me. Pam was in one room, and Johnny and I were in the other, and I was in the toilet. And there was something written on the toilet door, and it was the smallest print, even smaller than what you wrote on that first card. And I sat there, and I had to jack myself up, and I had to take my glasses off. And I got down, and you know what it said? You are now shitting at a 45-degree angle. Now you'll remember that one, won't you?
Yeah.
Now the next time someone says, "Do you tell jokes?" you say yes, and then you tell them that damn story.
Well, I know
That's the.
Pat and them too.
Have you heard that one before?
No.
Because that really happened.
Yeah, really?
There's a lot of those normal things that say, well, you know what they all say. I don't know if they say the same thing in the ladies' room as they do in the men's room, but
They do.
they do. Thank you, thank you, Stephen. Now, for any of you younger children watching, this will kill your teachers in school. Boy, I haven't looked at my face. It must be black all over. I keep pulling. see my now. Jeez. I need some of that dandruff crap. You are now shitting at a 45 degree. What's going on? Okay, these go over here. And this goes back to you.
So what can I say about this other than it is one of the most incredible acts of all time? It's iconic. It's the act that literally put him on the map. Look, there's a lot of people that are coming into magic that want to be famous. They want to be famous to magicians. They want to be famous to lay people. They want to have a career. They want to have notoriety. They want to have people know who they are. One of the ways of doing that is by having one super strong act that everybody knows you for, and everybody wants to book you to do that act because you're the only person in the world that does it. There's a few people that have managed to achieve that in their career, but I would argue that Tom Mullica, even though he has lots of other things going for him, or had going for him, the red skeleton stuff, for example, but I think most people knew him for the cigarette eating act. That act literally took him around the world, got him on television numerous times. Go look the performance up to Letterman. It's hilarious. There's some incredible footage of him doing this act. And obviously when he developed it, smoking cigarettes wasn't frowned upon like it is now. But even now, people still smoke cigarettes. And even now, if you did it today, you would still just turn heads because everybody knows that you don't eat cigarettes. Everybody knows it's impossible to do that. So those moments, but also you watch the performance and there's so many, it's not just that he's sitting there for 5 minutes eating a cigarette. The way that it's routine, the drama that builds, the funny moments that are built in, like when he smiles and all of the cigarettes shoot out. It's just brilliant. And when I've seen him do this close-up, I remember watching him do it on the Stuff the White Rabbit show from years ago. When I've seen him do it many times, he's doing it not even as a trick. He's doing it as a card routine. I remember watching him do it as part of a Cards Across, and he's getting someone to count out 20 cards. And he's like, and he just lights a cigarette and he starts smoking and then starts eating them. And he keeps saying throughout, "Are you sure you want that many cards? Do you want any more?" And it's almost like it's not even a trick. It's almost like it's just something he's doing to kill the time while he's chatting to this spectator, which makes it even more disarming. It really does. So, you know, if you've never seen this act before, rewind and go watch it a couple of times. It's brilliant. And it's one of the reasons why everybody loves Tom Mullica so much.
It's very strange that I saw a magician perform in Korea when I was in the military, and it completely fooled me. And I'd like to show it to you. The reason this trick works is because all of your sinus passages are connected. Did you know that? Your tear ducts and your sinus cavities. This is what I'm going to do. These are northern white beans. The magician in Korea that I saw perform this, he used little pieces of bamboo. But what you have to do is take these and one at a time lubricate them, put a little spit on the bean, because this bean now is going to go in my left tear duct. Now, we'll take the second one. Okay, this one goes in the other side. The third one. If you thought the two eyes were funny, this one's going to kill you. this one goes in my mouth. Left eye. Right eye. Nose. And mouth. You want to try it? Oh, not now, right?
That was good.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so the next act that you just saw was the Indian bead mystery. Now, this just suits his performance style perfectly. The whole idea of, you know, like pushing little beads into your eyes and into your ears and up your nose and then out your mouth just fits his act perfect. You would expect somebody who could eat cigarettes to be able to do this. Now, I've done this for years. I remember the first person I saw teach this was John Tremaine on a trick or tape video from years ago, and he used little pieces of foil balled up, and he was using little pieces of foil. I've typically used in the past Tic Tacs to do this, and it's been around for a long time. But I think what we can understand, or what we can learn from watching Tom Mullica do it, is firstly understanding your performing character and understanding who you are and what your spectators expect of you, right? So somebody who's eating cigarettes, you'd expect them to like be able to sniff stuff up their nose and cough it out their mouth. I would argue that it gets a bigger reaction from when Tom did it than most other magicians, because I think a lot of magicians that would do this, they would think it was, an audience watching would think it was a trick and there was some sort of illusion to it, whilst I would think that anybody who was watching Tom Mullica do it, they would think that he's actually doing it for real. This is a guy we've just saw eat an entire pack of cigarettes. It kind of makes sense that he could sniff stuff up his nose, right? So if there's one thing we can learn from watching this, it's understand your performing character and what you can perform and what you can't perform and what type of tricks would fit into your character. I've talked about this with people like Tom Crosby in the past. He's so hyper aware of his performing character and what he does and what he doesn't do. So there's that. The other thing that we can learn from watching the Indian bead mystery is his performance skill. His skill, you know, one of the things that really sells this trick is the ability to make it look like you're really in pain when you're pushing that thing in your eye or you're bringing it up your nose. It's the ability to actually act and have people buy into what you're doing. And that's something that a lot of magicians overlook. And one thing I've done with Ryland, for example, is he's had acting lessons from a couple of different people, ongoing acting lessons, because if you want to be a good performer, you've got to learn how to act. You've got to learn how to do that side of things as well. Becoming a good performer is learning about every single aspect of performance. So, yeah. I think there's a lot we can learn from watching the Indian bead mystery, and it's also hilarious watching Tom do it. But we're going to move on now, and we're going to move on to, I've got so many other things I can talk about, but we're going to move on now to Tom Mullica performing an iconic Paul Harris routine with a couple of cans of pop. I'm sure you know what's coming up.
Ginger ale and club soda. Now remember what I told you before the trick started? Throw me off and pick the other one. Which one do you want to use for the trick?
Oh, I love the ginger ale.
You like ginger ale better? Or do you just want to use it for the trick? Because you're not going to drink it.
No, I just want to use it for
Okay. Take the ginger ale in your hand and shake it up vigorously. Now, have you ever done this before? No, I mean, have you ever... Only you would have laughed at that.
Because I'm not going to open it. That's what.
I'm not either. I'm not going to touch that can.
I just like to move further away.
Yeah, let's bring
You can find a
Sandy in on
4-year-old
this
would
last
open
trick.
A 4-year-old would open it.
Now, have you ever dropped one out of the refrigerator? What do you do with it? I put it in the
Put it
back
back.
and open it up
Yeah,
in about
somebody else opened it,
January.
yeah.
Somebody else opened it.
Are you satisfied that that's shaken up enough? I mean,
Okay.
you're not doing this really wimpy. You shaking that up.
No,
That is
it's-
going.
Yeah.
Now, which way do you think the bubbles are going, up or down?
All
They're
over.
going all over the place. Set the can on its side once. Now, where do you think the bubbles are going? Sideways, up and down, round and round, back and forth? Or do
Yeah,
you-
all those.
all of those. You can set it upside down, you can set it right side up, you can do anything, you can even shake it again if you want to.
Oh, me-
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I
I don't know.
Can I not sit here anymore?
Okay? Now turn it over just one more time. And now take this one. Now have I touched either can yet?
No.
Okay, just push that can off to the side a little bit. Take this one and move it towards you. That's got the bubbles, right?
I'm opening it.
Put it right under your face. Now take this one and put it on the top. And believe it or not, I'm going to make all of those bubbles in that ginger ale go into that top can. Okay. Take the top can off, set it next to the ginger ale. Now, are you a real willing person?
Yes, yeah.
I want you to take that Canada Dry,
Yeah.
the one that you shook vigorously. I want you to open it and trust me, I've taken the effervescence from that can. Open it up. Trust me. Come on. Trust
I'm
me.
opening it this way.
Trust me.
I trust.
Open it. Open it. Open it. Trust me.
Oh my God.
And
It's full of fizz. It's just in.
and believe it or not,
Oh God. I don't know if I trust anymore.
Oh, jeez.
Huh. Wow.
I don't get
it's
it.
the trend. I don't get it. Open up.
Oh.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So next up we have FISMaster by Paul Harris, and I wanted to include this because I thought I thought that Tom's performance is probably the best performance of FISMaster I have ever seen. I remember the first time I showed Ryland this. I only showed it him recently, and I fooled him completely. He had no idea how it's done. And I think the thing is, we forget about how amazing these tricks are from years and years and years ago as we strive to find the latest and greatest trick. But FISMaster is a routine that I've performed for so many years. I've done it in kid shows. I've done it in close-up. It's my go-to impromptu trick. You know, if you just catch me out and about and I've got nothing on me, I'm like, hey, have you got a couple of cans of pop? We're going to try something, okay? Get me a couple of cans of pop. I'm going to show you something amazing. It's a performance piece. It will work on stage. It will work in a close-up environment. It's just a really great trick. And when I showed it Ryland, he was like, I have no idea how that works. And I think a lot of people that haven't seen it, that aren't aware of the method, will be completely and totally fooled by it. But it's such a great trick. It packs small, it plays big, and if you want to learn how to perform properly, do me a favor, just go back and watch that clip of Tom performing it again and again and again. Because if you watch that back again and again and again, you'll see just how to perform FISMaster properly.
I'll save the next one for you.
Oh, thank you. I am messy, aren't I?
Yeah.
Let's see, we'll put some water in this one. I went to an Oriental restaurant the other night. They had this new dish called Who Flung Some Dung. That's why you're here. Boy, I don't know if I can handle this. Wow. Phew. Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got more. Oops, we got more over here too. Water from India. There. Okay. Oh, we've got more over here. I live in Vegas. When you live in the desert, this comes in very handy.
Sure. We have to take a break so you go to the bathroom?
Oh, eventually there, it's all gone. I'd rather have a Pepsi. Dolly Parton as a child.
Okay, so you've just seen the waters of India. And when I was researching into this video and I was looking for Tom Mullica clips, I found this and I didn't even know he did this. And I've read his book and he's never talked about it in his book. And, You know, maybe he just performed it once I don't know, but I wanted to include it because I thought his performance was so good. And it's a perfect example of his style of magic. Do you remember me talking earlier about how when he performs the Nicotine Nincompoop Act close up, a lot of the time he's not presenting it as a trick. He's just presenting it as something he's doing while he's waiting for the audience to do something else. Well, you see this again here in the waters of India, in that he's got these two bowls and he's just drinking and then, oh, hang on, there's more water. Oh, there's more water. And it's not being presented as a trick. It's not like, ladies and gentlemen, I am now going to perform for you the amazing, incredible waters of India. Watch these two bowls as they fill up with water. Look, I'll take this water, I'll tip it away. And now there's more. It's not performing it like that. And a lot of the time with stage performances, that's the way we gravitate. We gravitate as performers to perform the trick. And it makes sense that we would do that because we are performers. We have an audience in front of us. But the way that Tom why do I keep saying Mullinger? I think it's because Tom Mullica and Tom Mullinger, just the styles, remind me of each other in many, many ways. But the thing that we can learn from Tom Mullica is that a lot of the magic he performs is incidental. He's not performing it as a trick. It's kind of just happening, and he's reacting to this stuff happening. And that makes it even more interesting to the audience that are watching, because they're just kind of like, this guy obviously can do magic. Magic stuff's just happening to him. He's not even showing us the trick. And stuff is just happening. This is incredible. And I don't see many people performing in that style. I don't see many people kind of going down this route. A lot of the time when I see magicians doing magic acts, it's a magic act. You are performing it. While I think that if more people kind of maybe thought about this approach and how it would work for their act, I think it would make things even more interesting. And it's something that I didn't really think about before researching into Tom. And it's something that I'm going to start thinking about with my own performances as well, because it's an interesting approach to performing to people. But anyway, we're going to finish off by looking at Tom Mullica perform another routine involving eating cigarettes. And there's a very important reason that I'm actually going to be showing you this. So the video you just watched was on Tom Mullica performing at FISM 1988. He's performing on stage at FISM 1988 and he's performing his cigarette eating act. But I want you to have a look at this and then have a look at the first video I showed you. Because one of the questions I get on this channel all the time is, how can I start performing on stage? What can I do? I'm a close-up magician. I perform close-up. I want to perform on stage. How do I go from this environment to that environment? And one of the things that I've always said is, look at what you do in a close-up environment and see how it'll translate on stage. A lot of the time when I'm working in a stage routine, I'll work it in a close-up environment before I put it into my stage show. And this right here is the perfect example of what I mean. He's performing on stage and he's taken his cigarette eating act that he's famous for and he's done it on stage, but he's completely fleshed it out. So it's now just the final part of a 10-minute act. And there's a lot more going on beforehand. There's a lot of manipulation moments. There's a lot of beats. There's a lot of stuff happening that's very in line with the cigarette eating act, but it's totally different. And you can see that what he's done is he's taken this act that's worked and he's built an entire stage act around it. Now, I don't know Tom Mullica well enough to know that, or we'd never met before he passed away. So it might be that the stage act came first and then he condensed it down and started doing it close up. I don't know. But the point is, the stage act is an extension of what he does close up. The other thing I want you to notice about that stage act is the timing. All the great stage acts have music attached to it. Musicality is so important. And this is an example of musicality being really, really important to the act. It really is. And you can, to every single beat, look at all of the magical moments. They all happen at the correct beat. And the only thing that can make that happen is rehearsal. Rehearsal, rehearsal, rehearsal. Practice, practice, and then when you've practiced, go ahead and practice some more. There's nothing else I can really say about this stage act other than go back and watch it and use it as an inspiration to get out on stage yourself. You want to perform on stage? The best way to do that is by taking what works for you in close-up and seeing how you can make it bigger and how you can flesh it out to make it more of a routine that will work for 100 people instead of 3 or 4 people. So there you go, guys. That's another video in the bag. Do me a favor. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Tell me down below, have you seen Tom Mullica live? I'd love to know how you found it. Have you read his book? What do you think of Tom Mullica? Have you never seen him before? And what do you think of the performances I shared with you? Guys, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, please join the Netrix. That's www.thenetrix.com. And I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.